Hello, everybody. It's your girl Asia from the Roman Reigns Family Channel. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I will be making a rant about why I truly believe Sopranos season 6 is by far the worst season for the show, and why I really do feel like when I watched this season, it was really time for it to go off TV to where I feel like what was the point of making this season? So anyone who knows me know I completely despise season 6 for The Sopranos. Season 6 is a really awful season. Like when niggas try to really compare the final season of The Sopranos to Breaking Bad, there's no need for a comparison. The last episode for The Sopranos probably pissed me off more than any episode in the world. It went to black. There was never no question on what happened, what didn't happen. Me personally, the idea that for me to watch this show for 6 seasons straight and to not get a proper ending, number one is for one of the number one reasons for why this season sucked. Imagine watching a show for as long as you can and you don't get a clear ending. It ends up being one of the worst endings in a show. And yet, niggas say it's the greatest ending of all time. Sopranos has one of the worst endings ever because we never know what happened. And off top, that pissed me off because I thought when it happened, I'm thinking like, holy shit, did something go? Was there something wrong with my TV? No, was shit wrong with my TV. That's how they ended the show. It was just stupid. Like I just feel like David Chase, you did this show for 6 fucking seasons. Why didn't you give the audience a clear ending? I don't want to say it's like I wasted my time binge watching the show, but it's like, damn, 6 seasons and I don't get a clear ending. That's the ending. It just goes all black. Really? That's what we doing? Wow. The last episode for The Sopranos really sucked. It's not good. Like there's really nothing I remember. Like nothing about the last episode for Sopranos is really remembering. Like the only thing I remember is that Anthony AJ was making movies now, or he was like a director of movies. That was probably the only good thing I really liked is that, he finally got out of that really like that bad state of depression, is now making movies, he's doing something good with himself. I liked that because I think that's what I really wanted for AJ's character. But other than that, that's all I really can remember. Other than that, I don't remember nothing about like the last episode. It was just boring as fuck. Like it's like the last episode for The Sopranos isn't worth to be remembered. But yet you have motherfuckers out here who wants to compare it to the last episode of Breaking Bad. I'm here to say this right now. When it comes to Sopranos and Breaking Bad, I'm picking Breaking Bad all day, every day. Don't give a fuck. I don't care. I know I'm getting off topic. It's supposed to be why season 6 for The Sopranos sucked, and I'm gonna get into that. But let me just say this: Breaking Bad is 100% a better show than The Sopranos. And I'm gonna say mainly because not that I don't think The Sopranos is realistic, because other than I don't come from a very rich family, so I don't know what that feels like. But I would say storylines, how they presented their characters and how storylines were written and how they addressed mental health. Yes, that's very realistic. I think Sopranos did a really good job when it came to explaining mental health, and I really liked it that they did the therapy in the show. I really liked it that I really liked it that it was different. Like I really liked how in the Sopranos really mentioned that you know being a man and having mental health can sometimes, and having mental health and being quiet and not opening up and saying what's going on with you fucks you up because as a man there's these things, oh, you got to be this way, or you ain't masculine, or you not strong. And if you watch the Sopranos, I really feel like that was really was killing Tony in the inside, having to put on this facade that he has it all together, had to put on this facade that he's strong and that he's a winner, when deep down he don't feel like a winner. He feel like a loser. He feels like sometimes he wants to break down, but he has to be strong for everyone so they won't see that side that he think that's weak of him, because he's a human and because he feels like regardless of how I feel, I do feel like Tony Soprano is a bad person. I don't think he was not redeemable. But I feel like if they were going to do something where they can at least change him, I feel like season 6 was the perfect way to go. At the end of the day, I feel like in the therapy sessions, you really saw that Tony was human. He was human. He cried. He showed emotions. He did feel things. He did have guilt. He did have regret. He was most human and really very vulnerable in his sessions with Dr. Murphy. Other than that, whatever I saw in the therapy sessions did not come to true outside of them. And maybe that's one thing that bothered me because it just felt like, okay, the therapy sessions at this point are a waste of time. If he keeps going to therapy and nothing he's changed and nothing he says in therapy he's doing in his daily life, why the fuck does he keep going? At that point, I just thought it was stupid. You feel me? And then I'm gonna, as far as the ending for both of the shows are concerned, Breaking Bad had a way better ending. The last episode for Breaking Bad was really fucking great, excellent writing. It didn't like try to speed up the story. Like it didn't feel like they didn't try to like hurry up and like let's end this show. It's over with. I like that they took their time and they wanted us to like and really enjoy the ride that they was gonna take us on with the last episode for Breaking Bad. I think Breaking Bad is just a way better show. And you know what? I'm not gonna go into all that right now in this video. I was about to, but I'm not. I'm gonna say that for when I make. That will be the last video I make as far as talking about Sopranos and why I think Breaking Bad is way better than Sopranos. So y'all just be prepared. But as far as Sopranos season 6 is concerned, this is by far the worst season in the franchise. Sopranos season 6 is really bad. To me, I feel like there is nothing about this season that is rewatchable or that would make me want to go back. I feel like if I was to rewatch the show, I would rewatch season 3. Season 3 is probably the season I can rewatch when I haven't watched all the other seasons. Season 3 and season 4, some seasons were really fucking good. Season 6 is just like, when I was watching season 6 for The Sopranos, it's like I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for good shit to happen. It's a lot of filler. It's a whole lot of nothing going on. There's like a lot of, the writing for season 6 for The Sopranos was really all over the place. It was like everywhere. It's like they did not have a clear storyline on what they wanted to do. And I always say this, I feel like Robert, the actor who plays AJ, carried season 6 on his back. If it wasn't for his depression storyline, and I mean this truly, I was going to stop watching. Like, I was telling my dad, because, you know, he's a big fan of The Sopranos. He told me to watch it, and I did. When I reached season 6, I told him, like, this season is so fucking boring. It's just really bad. And I told him if it didn't get good, I was just going to stop watching. Like, I think literally only episode 8 to me was where I felt like they were doing something interesting. Like, okay, this season's finna turn around. Like, episode 8 to me was really good. Seeing that AJ wanted to take revenge and, you know, show that he cared about Tony and try to kill Uncle Junior. I thought that scene with AJ and Tony is one of the most underrated scenes in the show. It's a really good scene. I feel like, other than the therapy session when Tony, you know, blames himself for his son's pain and depression, I feel like that scene also shows that Tony does love and care for his son, and that the life that he's living as a mob, has really fucked up his son's life into thinking that the best way to getting revenge is ending someone's life, when with violence it just ends with more violence. If you take to, it's like, if you do something, someone has to get back, and it's like it's never ending. You feel me? So I feel like in that scene, it felt like Tony did have love for his son. He does care for his son. He wants better for his son, but at the same time, he's a hypocrite because his entire life he made it seem like in The Godfather, when Michael Corleone took revenge for his father for the guys who shot him. AJ felt like that is what Tony would want his son to do, to take up for him, and to find out that he was almost going to take his uncle's life, to find out that isn't what he wanted. You fucked up your son's life by having him being in this world of you being a mobster. Now, Robert's storyline of his depression absolutely carried this season on his back. It was by far the best fucking storyline. Robert acted his ass off. I always loved how Robert played AJ. I think he did an amazing job playing AJ on TV. AJ is by far one of he's like my favorite character in The Sopranos. It's him, then it's Christopher, then it's Tony. Them like my top threes. AJ is my favorite character in The Sopranos, and it mainly is because of more of a bias thing. Because I really see myself a lot in AJ. He kind of reminds me of me a lot, and I think he was just a very misunderstood kid. I think no one really understood him. I think everyone was so quick to say he's spoiled or he a brat or he got this or he got that. But I really try to understand where he's coming from because at the end of the day, even though he's a child, he's still a human being with feelings. And I feel like a lot of shit with him being depressed is shit that he was holding in and carrying him since he was a child. He's been carrying since his childhood, and then adding on to him loving someone for the first time and then losing it, having this person basically waste his time and have him buy a ring for her to just say she never was in love with him, she never felt it. She got him playing house with her son, he paying for her son's school. Like, I felt really bad for AJ because that was the first time he ever loved someone, and they basically played him and wasted his time, and he was really depressed. He was so sad. you know I really felt bad for him because I felt like he should have had a happy ending. And I was really more mad at the girl because I feel like she really lost one. Because AJ is a really sweet guy. To see that he is nothing like his father, that he's not a fuck boy, he's very immature. He's very mature. He knows what he wants in a relationship. Because for some reason it bothered Tony that he rather lay in the bed and be sad about some girl than go out there and be fucking different bitches. Like, you're single now. Why is you laying in the bed crying over this bitch who broke up with you? Like, how long are you going to keep crying about it? And it's like, your son was in love. He has every right to cry. He has every right to take his time to get over his heartbreak. If this was just a random girl he was with, no, he would not be laying in the bed. He would not be crying. But it's the fact that he wanted to marry this girl. He wanted to spend the rest of his life with this girl. He wanted to be a stepfather to her child. He wanted them to be married. He wanted a life with her. If this was just a regular girl he was not in love with, no, he would not be in the bed. He would not be crying. And I definitely see where AJ's coming from because he's passionate. He's a lover. And he's a Pisces. And I'm a Pisces. So I get where he's coming from. Because if my heart was broken like him, hell yeah, I'll be in the bed crying. Because it's like, damn, I give my all to someone and they tell me right now that they never loved me, they never felt anything that I was feeling, and they take for right now to tell me that, hell yeah, I would be heartbroken. So I felt for AJ, and like I said, a lot of stuff with his depression definitely came from it being hereditary, and it definitely came from stuff that he was holding for his childhood. Like, when in a therapy session, he brought up how, like, the first sets of his depression started kicking in when Tony's mother told him, life is a big nothing. You live and you die. And at the end of it, you only have yourself, which is a pretty cold thing to say to your grandchild. And it's a very mystique world. It's going to have them have a very mystique way of looking at the world. Like, okay, the world is nothing but a cold place and it will beat you down, which is true. The world is cruel. It's cold out here in this world. It's bad out here. But at the end of the day, you don't want your child to think their life is like, what's the word? Damn. AJ said it in season 2. I can't think of the word. But you don't want your child to think that when they come into this world that it's meaningless. Like, it means nothing. Like, their life mean nothing. You never want them to think that. So I really like that they brought that up in that conversation to show that, AJ's depression really started happening the moment he had that conversation with his grandmother. So to me, I got to give my MVP. I got to give it all out for AJ. I definitely feel like at this point, James Gandolfini was not the star of the show anymore. Definitely not in season 6. He definitely was not the star of the show. I feel like Robert was the star of the show, and I feel like he was the best actor in the season. I feel like he had the best storyline. He definitely shined the brightest, and I just want to congratulate him on that epic performance. He did such an amazing job, and yet again, like I'm going to say, and I said it 2,000 times, he had the best storyline in season 6 for The Sopranos. I cannot tell you how many times I cried when I saw him try to commit suicide. It completely broke me. But I think what really made me cry is when Carmilla said that, you know, he used to be so happy. He was our happy little boy. That shit really, really broke me. It really spoke to me because it's like, that's what you think. You think someone is always happy, but you never know what's going on with them. Because it's so hard being happy all the time. Joker said it in the movie. It is just so hard being happy all the time. It's so hard to have a smile on your face when deep down you not feeling happy. You not feeling joyful. So yeah, AJ had the best storyline in season 6. Um, Other than that, there was no other good storylines in this season. Uncle Junior was in this place. They gave this dude a whole episode of him in this place. And I was very confused. Can anyone tell me why Tony thought of killing Paulie? Because I just told y'all, when I was watching this season, I kind of watched it with like a blank eye. And some things I probably didn't pay attention to. But why did he want to kill Paulie? I don't remember that storyline at all. I can't even tell y'all. It was just, it felt so random. And everybody's talking about Tony changed. He didn't cheat. He cheated on Carmilla when him and Polly went out of town. He cheated on her with that blonde girl. Yet again, Tony did not change. And they had this time right here to make him change, and they didn't do it. Instead, he doing the same shit he's been doing since season 1. What the fuck's the point, right? What is the point and this one really pisses me off, and I'm really gonna go hard when I say this, right? This season, right, it opens up with Tony getting shot. At the end of this episode 1, he gets shot by Uncle Junior, which to me I always thought was stupid back when I look back at this season. It never made sense him getting shot by Uncle Junior because Uncle Junior has dementia. He didn't even remember shooting him. I feel like if you're going to have Tony get shot by someone who really wants to take him out, why didn't they have someone break into the house? Why didn't they have an enemy who probably wanted to take Uncle Junior out and they end up shooting Tony and thinking they killed him? Instead, they had Uncle Junior come downstairs. His mind is completely gone. He has Alzheimer's. He has dementia. He don't remember shit. He just shoots Tony, and that's just that. And it's not like no one ever gets any revenge on Uncle Junior because his mind is completely gone. He don't even know why the fuck he shot Tony. Instead, they put him in this assisted living home because he can't remember why he killed his, why he almost shot his grandson. I mean, almost shot. Would that be his nephew? That he almost shot his nephew. My fault. That he almost shot his nephew. To me, it's just that shit never made sense. It was so fucking retarded. And then after that, the first half of this season is nothing but this nigga Tony laying in the hospital bed, which I always say, them episodes are only good because of Tony's flashbacks. I thought James Gandolfini's acting in the flashbacks in the world he would want to live in, had he was just living a life of a regular person. I always thought his acting was great, especially in the episode where his cousin was in there, his cousin Tony was in there, and he said, "You need to let go." I thought his acting was great. One of my favorite scenes ever in this entire franchise, when, you know, he said he's scared, and he said that this is he lost his old briefcase, his whole life was in it. You know, I thought that was a really great scene. Other than that, after that, the first season is nothing. The first half is just so boring. Like, when I say this season is moving at a fucking snail's pace, I literally mean it. I'm not joking or being dramatic when I say that shit. This season moves at a very snail's pace. Extremely snail's pace. Nothing happens in the first half other than, oh, they find out Vito was gay, and they want to spend this whole first half talk about how they're gonna kill him. It's like, we still talk about Vito being gay? We still on this? We still talk about what they're gonna do with his character? Like, why was that the storyline for literally the first half? That was literally the storyline for the first half. Then I was confused when it came to this storyline because I had no idea if they was telling this story in the past or in the present. Christopher is with this woman. Oh my God. When I say the way they did Christopher's character in this season, I hate it. And to me, I always hated that they killed him off because I feel like he should have had a happy ending. And when they killed him off, it's like he was never brought up again, never mentioned. It's like and this is just how I feel. I feel like when they killed Christopher, it was for shock value because the season was so fucking boring. They needed something for the fans to be like, and that's exactly what it did to me. It did it for me. Like, that's literally how I felt when Tony killed Christopher. I was like, oh my god, no, he didn't. And it just made me hate Tony's character even more because it's like, oh my god, fuck you. Like, Christopher was my second best favorite character. Christopher character was so good. And I feel like after season 5, oh my god, Christopher was the MVP for season 5. His character was so good in season 5. He had the best acting scenes. The best acting scenes. Go watch season 5 and look at his acting scenes in season 5. Oh my god, he gave it all. He gave it everything. He gave them all of it. He did not hold back. Christopher was the best. He was the MVP in season 5. He was the best actor in season 5. Like I said, around this time, James Gandolfini was no longer the star of the show. No longer the star of the show. He was not. And I think it's because they did nothing for you to keep to make him interesting. I always said this. I feel like seasons 1 through 4 is like the best of Tony's character. His therapy sessions are memorable. He had great conversations with Dr. Melfi from seasons 1 through 4. I cannot remember one single therapy session he had in season 5. I cannot think of it. I can't think of one therapy session he had with her that they talked about something. I can't think of anything, and that's because he stopped going to therapy, but I'm pretty sure he ended up going back, and he did. And they didn't talk about nothing that was important. Nothing. Like, at that point, Tony's character was not interesting anymore. It was just like what his character was through seasons 1 through 4 stopped being that during 5 and 6. Like, in season 4, excuse me. Season 5 is a okay season. It's alright. I like that his cousin coming back. I liked all that. I liked that his cousin was working behind his back. I liked that he had to kill his cousin. I liked all of that. I enjoyed all of that. I liked I enjoyed him and Carmilla being separated, but the moment they had them sleep together, that was stupid. He should have just left that alone. Tony and Carmilla should not have gotten back together. It was just dumb. And I don't know, when I was watching season 5 not too long ago, I feel like it's just moving very slow. Like, not too much of anything is going on. Up until episode 5, I believe, where they did something where they made it seem like Adriana and Tony were going to sit together. That episode was pretty good. I feel like season 5 only has one good storyline, and that's Adriana working with the feds. That storyline was really good, even though I feel like it kind of came out of nowhere, because to me, you cannot sit there and say, and I know this is supposed to be about season 6, but I know, listen. Just listen to me, damn. It makes no sense for the writers to make it seem like Adriana did not betray Christopher when she did. When her friend lied and said she was working with the feds, Adriana should stop cooperating. But the idea of her going back and giving them information and giving them more information and giving them more, you already betrayed Christopher. She did. Because you're going back and you're withholding information that's going on within his circles. She's more like, she's asking him questions about things at dinner, shit that she never asked him before, shit that she never ever asked him. She was asking him, and you know, Christopher, he didn't think anything weird about it because that's his girlfriend, that's his partner, that was his fiance. You feel me? He didn't keep anything from her. He told her everything and everything. But had he known she was working with the feds, he would have kept that shit sacred. So to me, yes, Adriana did betray Christopher because when that friend that she was friends with in season 4 told her that she was an undercover cop, an undercover fed, she should have stopped talking to that bitch. Why is you still talking to this bitch? She's an undercover fed. And when she kept going back and giving her information, it's not like Adriana didn't have a right to... for me, what sucked about Adriana's death was that she was getting taken away from Christopher, right? Christopher loved her. And to me, that's where I feel like Christopher's character really started shining a little bit more. Season 3 is when you start to see his character shine. And season 4, him doing the drugs, shining. And then season 5 is where he really shined for me. Because like I said, he was the MVP of that season. Like I said, the storyline that Adriana had made his character shine. That scene where Adriana told him she was working with the feds is one of my favorite scenes of all time. His acting was amazing. The panic in his eyes was great. And the fact that he chose loyalty over love is something he regretted after he told Tony. Because in season 6, he was not happy. He turned in the woman that he loved just for his uncle, even though Tony and him are not related, to just turn around and treat him like shit at the end of the day. You feel me? And everyone was so mad at Christopher for making that movie in season 6 talk about he made Tony look bad. No, Tony made himself look bad. What did Christopher lie about in that movie? Tony is not shit. Tony cheat on you. Tony cheats with you with anybody. He tried to sleep with Adriana while she was engaged to me. What the fuck are you talking about? He's a bully. He tear people down. He ain't shit. What did Christopher lie about in that movie? Why the fuck was Carmela so mad? And why is she checking Christopher about Adriana? Her and Adriana weren't friends. When did she really start talking to that bitch? Other than what? In season 4, when Christopher started putting his hands on Adriana, that's when she really started talking to her. Other than that, when did she ever talk to Adriana like that? When was her and Adriana ever really friends like that? Get the fuck out of here. Carmela blew me when she chin checked Christopher. Girl, you are the last person on this earth to chin check anybody about a relationship. When you still married to a man who go out and fuck any bitch he see. Stop talking to me. Keep your mouth shut. Be quiet. Be quiet. You need a hush. She had no right to chin check him. Are you kidding me? Stop it. Like I said, season 5 is okay. The only good storyline in that season to me is Adriana's Fed storyline. That's it. Her Fed storyline was great because, again, it had something to do with Christopher's character shining. We get into season 6. Christopher is barely in this season. He barely gets any screen time, and Tony treats him like absolute garbage. Like I said, I'm very confused when it comes to this storyline in season 6 because I don't know if it's being told in the past or in the present. Christopher is with this random girl. We had no idea they were together. There's no build. There's no nothing. This girl is pregnant. They get married. I'm thinking like, who is this bitch? Why is he in this random ass relationship? There's like no talk of his relationship at all. And Christopher goes back to doing drugs. He was in one of his AA meetings. And the woman, I definitely feel like these episodes were being told from the... I feel like it's a mixture of present and past. And I say that because Tony is in the therapy sessions telling Dr. Melfi how it kind of bothers him that Christopher is fucking a woman that he wanted to sleep with. And y'all say this nigga changed. He ain't changed. This nigga having thoughts of cheating is still bad even though you didn't physically act out on your thoughts. The fuck? And y'all say this nigga changed. Ha! I laugh at that shit for real because he didn't change. He made not 1 ounce of changing. Not 1 ounce of changing. None. And if you were what was the point of Tony getting shot if he wasn't going to change his ways? I ask this shit all the time and no one can ever give me a fucking answer. What was the point of Tony getting shot and almost losing his life and feeling like he took his life for granted? Feeling like he took Carmela for granted? Just for him to turn around and still cheat, still lie, still talk to her like she ain't shit, still treat her like trash. What's the point? It means absolutely nothing. You're just condescending your writing. You're condescending your main character. So what is up? What's really good? Talk to me. What are we doing at this point? Like I said, Christopher goes back to doing drugs with this woman. Him and this woman are having an affair. I don't remember what happened to her, why they stopped fooling around or whatever it is. I just think they just stopped talking. But Christopher doesn't really do anything in this season. He relapsed on drugs. And then, Christopher had, like, some really good, like, acting scenes in this season, I definitely would say. Because like I said, in the season, in this episodes where he was messing around with that girl, he relapsed on drugs, and then the episode where they were at the Italian carnival. I don't really know too much about the Italian culture, so forgive me if I am, you know, not saying something correctly or mispronouncing it. Um, he relapsed again on drugs, and then the whole scene is just, it's no verbally talking. It's just him and his facial expressions and him being on the drugs and feeling completely alone and lonely in the world. Like he has no one. He's just completely by himself. Like at this point, it's like the only thing he could depend on is drugs, because drugs will never leave him. Drugs is always going to be there. And to me, I felt really bad for Christopher, because at that point, drugs was like the only thing he could rely on. And after that, it's like his character is just there. And then in episode 17, where everyone is treating him like trash, and everybody is just so mad at him because he changed. He don't drink. He don't do drugs no more. And he was expressing to the guy who wrote his movie how he just feel like people just push him aside, treat him like he ain't shit. He just hate the way he was being treated. And I feel like when he was trying to explain to everyone what it feels like having a child, everyone was taking it as a joke when he was really being dead ass serious about how he feels about having a kid. Paulie is popping jokes and trying to be funny, and I feel like in now a moment where everything went to slow motion, all he could see is just everyone making a joke of his life, making a joke of the changes he is trying to make. Christopher was such a good character. He was such an amazing character. And it hurt me and it pissed me off when they killed him off. Because I feel like in season 6 they didn't do anything with his character. I feel like he was just there. He didn't say too much. He didn't do too much. He was just there. And in episode 18, he's just gone. Like that. They just kill him off. That shit always bothered me. Always. 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 Because I felt like had I done things differently, I don't really say I and I only say this because I'm trying to imagine what the Sopranos would look like had Christopher, you know, went with Adriana and started their new life. There would be no more Christopher in the show. I feel like it would not have been as interesting. But I sometimes wish he would have left with her so he'd get away from the toxicity. Because at the end of the day, he picked wrong. He should not have chose loyalty over love, because loyalty should have limitations. And in season 6, you could tell he definitely regretted that, because at the time he did not know that. In season 6, he finally learned who Tony really is. He's a toxic energy, absorbing all the energy from everyone. He's this dark cloud who's just really toxic, and he's not good for anybody, not for his family, not for his friends, for nobody. So Christopher's death always bothered me. But Sopranos season 6 all around is a horrible season. It's not good. It absolutely sucks. It's a terrible season. Tony is not a good character at all. Like I said, at this point, his character is just like not interesting, because it's just repetitive at this point. So repetitive. The only good thing about this season is AJ's depression storyline. I said what I said. Be offended. Don't be offended. I really don't give a fuck. That's all I gotta say. This is my video. Please, tomorrow, please be prepared, because I will be dropping a review video about Found season 2 episode 9. My show returns tonight, y'all. I'm so fucking excited. I cannot wait to watch this episode and then come on here tomorrow and tell y'all what I thought. Is going to be fucking great. And then again, like I said, I don't know if I'm going to review every episode, or am I going to just wait until all the episodes drop and give my review like that. Or I just might review every episode, and then when the finale drop, give my own reviews about that. Like I said, kind of still being indecisive about it. But I love y'all always. Please like and subscribe, all that good stuff, and catch y'all on my next video.